Cliché podcast. Your silence hurts us. Podcast. Your silence hurts us. Quote. Over-the-air radio Amal FM on 95.5 to 98.8 MHz. The podcast, Your Silence Hurts Us, part of the Women Peacemakers Project. Implemented by Amal Women's and Sociocultural Foundation. The podcast, Your Silence Hurts Us. Produced by Hadhramaut Media and Development Foundation Radio Amal FM. Prepared by Shadi Muhammad and Amar bin Johar. Presented by Kamar Sami. Editing and audio engineering, Amar Salem. Supervisor, Salwa Muhammad Bakhtar. Dear listeners, welcome to Radio Amal FM on 89.8 and 95.5 MHz. You listen to a new episode of the podcast, Your Silence Hurt Us. We review several issues related to the work of women activists who defend the rights of abused women and the difficulties they are subjected to performing their lofty mission to support women's rights issues. Dear listeners, in today's podcast, Your Silence Hurts Us, we will discuss the roles played by civil society organizations in protecting women activists defending the rights of abused women. Through this episode, we will increase the responsibility that these organizations, whether local or international, must stand in solidarity for women's rights activists, because they work hard to provide much of the monitored data that these organizations rely on in formulating their vital projects in the protection and gender sectors. Let us listen and introduce the campaign, Your Silence Hurt Us, through a focus view report. Before this, let us listen to an introductory report of the campaign, Your Silence Hurts Us. Introducing the campaign through the Focus View Report. The Your Silence Hurts Us campaign comes within the Peacemakers project funded by DTI to achieve justice within the Justice for Yemen Pact, which aims to monitor violations resulting from the conflict in Yemen. The project works to build the capacity of monitors and workers in the specialized Together for Her network in monitoring and documenting violations against abused women and activists defending women's rights and human rights in Hadhramaut. The Women Peacemakers project will last for 19 months and includes several different activities that contribute to the process of monitoring violations for justice within the Justice for Yemen Pact. The campaign, Your Silence Hurts Us, aims to mobilize and finance local and international support to improve the protection of activists defending women's rights and human rights. Improving the image of women defenders within society and increasing community awareness about violations in general and violations against women defenders in particular. The campaign, Your Silence Hurts Us, was launched coinciding with the approaching 16-day activities to combat violence against women, which focuses light on the violations suffered by women and human rights defenders. The campaign adopts a message not to be silent about violations against women activists and defenders. The campaign encourages female activists to reveal what they are subjected to violations and clarify the challenges they face while defending women's rights and human rights. Dear listeners, the campaign, Your Silence Hurts Us, has various activities, including this podcast, Your Silence Hurts Us, which you are listening to on Amal FM Radio. There are other activities on mass media and social media sites, including positive messages and articles about women defender activists, and a workshop that will be carried out by organizations within the Justice for Yemen Pact, to discuss all aspects that contribute to the protection of women defender activists. Dear listeners, local and international civil society organizations play an important and effective role in multiple fields in protecting human rights activists and abused women. Perhaps the most prominent of these is providing legal, psychological, social, and material support to activists and women who are subjected to violence, threats, arrest, enforced disappearance, or any form of other violations. As well as documenting, reporting, publishing, and following up on violations that affect women activists and women, and demanding accountability, justice, and compensation for victims and survivors. It also works to enhance the capabilities and skills of activists and women in the areas of leadership, representation, and participation in decision-making and development, including providing safe spaces, dialogue, and communication platforms for women activists and women to exchange expertise, experiences, information, resources, and solutions. Moreover, one of the most important roles is to form alliances, networks, and joint initiatives between activists and local and international civil organizations to enhance cooperation, coordination, solidarity, support, and mutual support. In this way, it can be said that local and international civil organizations play a leading role in protecting human rights activists and abused women in Yemen and the world, contributing to improving activist status, rights, voice, and role in the societies in which they live. Dear listeners, here we must emphasize the pivotal role played by civil organizations in supporting and protecting women activists defending the rights of abused women. This campaign is only part of a large system that supports the activity of these anonymous women soldiers from an institutional civil framework, which bears the responsibility of adopting this approach and strongly supports their tireless activity in documenting the grave violations that women are subjected to in Yemeni society. Dear listeners, in this episode, we have reviewed the topic of the roles played by civil society organizations in protecting activists defending the rights of abused women. At the end of this episode, we have to mention the Together for Her network, which is for Yemeni women that monitors and documents the violations that women are subjected to due to the war. It also opens its arms to all Yemeni women activists and defenders who have been subjected to violations to report any case of violence and abuse through the network's application in the Google Play Store, which bears the name Together for Her Network, or by calling the following number, 776,520,320. Thank you for listening.